Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Leah Charity of Ancha Crochets, and today we are making this bikini bottom, which is really easy to make. And in this tutorial there are guidelines that you could use to alter it to any measurements that you like. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and do the needful. Thank you so much for the support, and let's get into it. So the yarn I'll be using is Charity Post Gain double knit, alright, and in the color Mandarin Duck, and these are the specification. But however, I'm going to use a 3mm hook because I want tighter stitches. So you're also going to need a tape measure and a pair of scissors or cutters, alright. So to begin your roll, you're going to make a slip knot however you make it, and then you're going to chain a chain that is equivalent to 2 inches, all right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all right. So in my measurement, this would be 2.5 inches before I could start working on it, alright. So which is why I chained 12. From those 12 you're going to work your double crochets. You're going to yarn over and you're going to count 1, 2 stitches, and on the third stitch you're going to make a double crochet, alright. Yarn over again, make another double crochet. So at the end of this row you're going to have 10 double crochets. So go ahead and work your 10 double crochets and take our measurements. I've come to the end of my double crochets and my work measures, my work measures 2 inches, all right. So after this you're going to work chain 2, turn your work, and then insert 1 double crochet through this round until you reach the end, and do this for about 8 rows, okay. I'm almost approaching my end, so make sure that you put a double crochet even in the very last stitch, which could be a little bit difficult. But as you know, I always chain 2 when I do double crochets because I don't like the gap that it makes when I make 3 chains. So I'm just going to go ahead and make 2 chains, and into the next available chain go in with a double crochet, all right. So you're going to do that all the way until you reach your 8 inches, your 8 rows. So actually the 8 rows should be about 4 inches. So that's the measurement you are going for, which will be our crochet area. That is why we are making 8 rows, but the rows that you are making depend on the hook size and the yarn that you are making, but the measurement is standard, it's 4 inches. So I've come to the end of my work. I did my 8 rows, 2, 4, 6, 8, and my work measures exactly 4 inches, all right. So for whichever size that you're making, either you're making a small, a medium, or a large or extra large, this is the crotch measurements that you should be going for. It's 4 inches nonetheless going up, and 2 inches nonetheless going the side, right? So from here we are making our increases, and the panel that you're working on right now is the front part of our bikini panty. So you're going to chain 2 or 3 if you like chaining 3, turn your work and start your increases. So to start your increases, you are going to insert another double crochet in the very same chain 2 or chain 3 that you created, all right. There you go. That's an increase. As you can see, our work is a little bit going to the side. So now you're going to yarn over and go ahead and insert one double crochet on each and every chain space that you get until you get to the very end of your work. I've come to the end. I'm left with one double crochet, and I'm going to go ahead and insert a double crochet there, yarn over and do the last step of the increase, and place another double crochet in the very same space that I just put a double crochet. So as you can see, our work is expanding on both sides. So some people would like to increase on one side because this is the front, but for me, I love increasing on both sides, which is the beginning and the end. So you're going to go ahead, chain 2 again, yarn over and place a double crochet into the same space. All right, you're repeating the row that we just created, and thereafter you're going to go ahead and do the same until you reach this point. So what you're going to do, if you are working for a small to medium size, you're going to do this the increases for about 15 rows. All right, that would be enough to fit a size small and a size medium. But if you want to do a size extra small, we are going to do this increases for about 13 rows. All right, but for me, because I'm working for a size small to medium, I'm going to go ahead and work 15 rows of increases. Then we shall meet at the end of that. So when you're done, you're going to chain 60, depending on how many you want, but 60 is just enough. All right, you're going to chain here and also come back and chain on the side, or you can better still chain here because you're going to cut off, and then you go ahead and do the connection here to do the back panel. I've reached my 60th. I'm going to chain 1 extra and cut my yarn. We'll deal with this tail at the end of the project. So far this is how our work is looking like. All right, so this is where we started, 2 4 6 8. all right, which is the standard of 4 inches by 2 inches. all right, from there you made the increases. So for me, I did 2 4 6 8 10 12 14 15 rows because I'm working for a size small to medium. all right, so if you are working, like I mentioned, for a size extra small to small, you're going to end at 13, and if you're doing small to medium, 15. If you're doing medium to large, you're going to do add more extra 2 rows, which is 17, and for extra large you keep on increasing just like that. all right, so what you're going to do next, since we are here, we're going to attach and start working the body of the panty by the buttocks. all right, this coverage is for the front. Now we're doing the back of our painting. all right, so to know how many rows you're working on for your painting, you're going to make increases that thereafter would reach at the very same point from here. all right, so for me, I'm going to make 25 rows, because here I have 2 4 6 8 10 12 14 16 18 20 22 23. I have 23 rows. all right, so I'm going to do, it means I'm going to do 23 rows of increases, and for the back panel you're going to start your increases right from the beginning. So that's how we're going to begin. We're going to make a slip knot, going to use it to connect. all right, so since this is where we ended, we are going to connect exactly where we ended, actually where we began. all right, so we're going to chain 2 3 if you do, and then you turn your work. So I'm going to try by all means that I weave in the tails as I go. all right, so immediately you're going to make your increases because you're working on the back panel. Go ahead into the same space where you connected your yarn and make a double crochet. All right, and the next coming double crochets, you're going to insert one on each. You're going to do that until we reach the end. So I'm left with one double crochet, which is the very last one. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off this little tails and go ahead and do my last 2 double crochets in one space, since I'm working an increase. All right, so this is how your work should be looking like. You're going to go ahead, chain 2 or 3. If you begin with 3, me, I begin with 2. Go ahead, place a double crochet on the same space, and over, place your double crochets all the way until you reach the end. All right, coming to the end in my chain 2, I'm going to go ahead and place 2 double crochets in the same space. Sorry. All right, so this is how our work is, and this is where we are. So you're going to go ahead and work this, all right, until you achieve the coverage you're going for. So I'm going to make my 25 rows and come back to show you how far I've come and how the work looks like. So I've come to the very end, and I'm placing my last 2 double crochets, which is the last row of my increase, all right, as per my measurements. All right, so this is so far our work. All right, this is so far our work, and let me cut off this. Okay, so this is the back side, and this is the front, and where we started. So since this is where we started, remember I said for the size that I'm working on, which is a size small up to medium, I initially made 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23 rows. All right, so since I did 23 rows of my front panel, it means my back panel also is going to be 23 rows, but with increases only. All right, so my front panel measures 10 inches from here it's 10 inches. It's 10 inches, right? So measuring from here where I started my back panel, which I started with a row of increases, it measures up to 11 inches. All right, because normally and naturally the back side is bigger than the front side. So I also did 23 rows of increases, right, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. All right, so if you fold in our work, this is how it looks. All right, this is exactly what we were trying to achieve. So this front panel from the way we began should measure the same to the back panel, but with increases. So this is how our work looks like. So right now I'm left with making the straps. All right, the reason why I did the strap from the beginning is because I didn't want to join my yarn at every stage of our work, which is why I decided to do this immediately before I cut off. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain the same amount of chains that you did here, the same number. So for here I did 60, but you can do 100 just for you to be on the safe side. So since I chained 60, I'm going to go ahead and chain 60 where I left off. So I've chained my 60. I'm going to add extra one and cut off my yarn. So our straps are now on the opposite sides. All right, so you're going to go ahead and join your yarn and do another strap. All right, then after that you're going to go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other end, which does not have. So you're going to make a slip knot and connect your yarn. All right, like that. Then go ahead and chain your 60 or 100, whichever amount you decide to go for. So go ahead and do that, and I'm done doing that on both my points. All right, so after that you're going to go ahead and weave in your tails. All right, you can do that using your darning needle or just using your hook like I'm doing, going back and forth so that you conceal this end. All right, sorry. So I conceal it by doing slip stitches, going back and forth. All right, when I'm done, I'm going to pull it and then cut off the excess tail, so that when I pull it, it gets comfortable. It's in its own space. All right, so what you're going to do next, you can decide whether to put some pearls, beads, or whatever you can decide to put here on the straps, but as for me, I'm just going to tie a knot, pull and cut off the excess. All right, then you cut off the excess. So at this point our bikini bottom is complete. You can go ahead, if you want to line it here, you can go ahead and line it here on this crochet pattern, on this crochet part, sorry, but for me now not necessarily necessary. So our bikini bottom is complete. All right, so as you can see, this was easy, and you can even alter it to your own measurements. Our bikini bottom is ready and can be recreated to any size, and it looks really beautiful and really neat. All right, so go ahead and recreate it with your own colors and measurements. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.